Alright, this particular topic is an application of a little of what we have learned so far. Alright, I'll be trying my best to show you how or what your examiners mean when they ask certain questions. Whenever they ask certain questions, what they mean is exactly what I'll be expounding to you right about now. Alright, I hope you have eaten. Because very important you eat. See, Yoruba will say that in the English version, organ cannot enter the center of the stomach and you expect any other thing to enter. But if you have not eaten, you are in the same shoes. You would eat after this class. Okay, now look at the question like this under literary appreciation. It says, contrast between the use of corruption as a thing in harvest of corruption and the use of corruption in the blood of a stranger. First and foremost, if you are in the category of those who will pick one of the books and throw away the other and say, okay, this is under drama, I'll pick one, I won't read the other one. I want to advise you to use the opportunity of this break to read the other ones you have never opened. Okay? I know some students who believe that they can just pick one book when they get to the exam or they'll answer just that book. You might be shocked. This is the last time we're going to be using this syllabus, this scheme of work and the set of books. It could be a very weird, set of exam where all of the books will be combined in one question. For instance, look at this. In the harvest of corruption and also in the blood of a stranger, you can imagine that two questions or two books are combined in one question. Corruption was shown in blood of a stranger, you agree with that? And also in harvest of corruption, of course, you can see from the title, corruption was deeply what? Shown. But to be candid, when we now say contrast, contrast means look through the two, compare, okay? And tell us, is there anything that is related in the way we use corruption, in harvest of corruption, and the way we use it in blood of a stranger? Is there any difference? If there are, mention the two, explain them to details, and of course, pass a message across to whoever is reading. Okay? Talking about it, that the way corruption is used, what's the symbol? What does it symbolize? Talk about the symbolism. Having explained that, okay, this is the way corruption is used in harvest of corruption. However, in blood of a stranger, this is the way it is used. Essentially, I've come to realize that in Africa as a whole, or Nigeria and Africa as an extension, corruption is a major part and a nitty-gritty embedded into the fabrics of our existence. Okay, so if you are able to contrast between them, you get your mark. Okay, so let me try my best to answer this. What are the questions asked in this particular question? You are asked to first contrast between what? The way we use corruption in harvest of corruption and the way we use it in blood of a stranger. So you are almost going to have about 4 or 5 points to touch. Now, what's the first thing? In harvest of corruption, you have to state how it is used, the principal officer who is corrupt in harvest of corruption is who? Is Chief Aladu Ade Amaka. He is. I didn't say, look at the way I'm writing my own answer. You will see that I've not written it in past tense. The principal officer, some people will write the principal officer who was corrupt in harvest of no. Who is corrupt in harvest of corruption is Chief Aladu Ade Amaka. He is a minister for external affairs, okay, in a country, Jakarta, okay. His corruption is aided by the likes of Ochole, Madam Hoha, and the whims and caprices of Justice Odili. Okay? So, by extension, you go ahead, because I can't possibly write all of, the explanation. You have to mention the principal officers, that constitute that corrupt act. That is, you need to, it's like you're summarizing both the corrupt act and the people that are involved in it in a few lines. Do you understand? Of Justice Odili, who perpetrates or deal in drugs, prostitution, trafficking, etc. In fact, the worst of it all is that Chief Olade Aduamaka is supposed to be seen as an apron of what justice or good quality, representing his country to the outside community. Alas, he used bribery and corruption to destroy the office which has been handed over to him. Now, having stated this, you now go ahead to say that in the blood of a stranger, however, the case is similar in the sense that the story touches the lives of people similarly in power, in position of power. Though this is a much more local setup, but it still reflects position of power. Here we see Santigi the Great, okay? We see Soko, we see Maligu, okay? And we see Kindo, the son of the king, all together in this, storyline. However, the corrupt heads are the likes of Soko, Maligu, and the white head, together with Parker, who came, deceived a whole community by fake spiritual utterances, to make the people believe that the gods have asked them to accept, a visitor, which is fraudulent in nature. It is corrupt. Using the position of a spiritual leader, you are expected to be holy, you are expected to be free of anything corrupt. But they actually use that post to deceive everybody in the community. Do you understand? So as a result of that, lives were lost. Okay? In the end, people died and the king had to expel or banish his son from the land. It's such a sad case. In that of harvest of corruption, justice was done. But in that of, blood of a stranger, the result is adverse. The innocent suffered. In fact, those who actually didn't put their mind into it initially were the ones who suffered. And we can see, of course, how the king had to banish his son from the land. So this will tell us that the two stories, one mirrors what can happen when corrupt people are in power. It mirrors what can happen. This is the importance of it. It mirrors what can happen if the judicial system can punish them. Do you get that? Justice will be done. While the second one tells us what can happen when corrupt people are in position of power and what will happen if our leaders do not allow the justice system to work. So if you look at it in totality, you will discover that between the two, they both have similarities of people in position of power, exploiting that position in corrupt ways. Okay? But the difference that now comes in is that in the first story, those who perpetrated this crime, justice was meted on them. But in the second story, though a few of those in this story also were innocent in a way, they were not really interested in the corrupt act, but they still got their fair share. Like, what's her name? Aloha. Okay, she died even after trying to be delivered of the baby of our chief, Amaka. Okay, so but in the second story, we can see that the corrupt act of these people in power, it disrupted the whole community, put everyone in bondage. In fact, there was moral decadence, and of course, the community hit a turmoil. Okay, so that is how to put your answer in simple present tense. Don't make it difficult. Explain in your own terms. Okay, the way you understand the question. So, first, understand that it is contrast, and then make sure that you touch the details of how corruption is used in the first one and in the second one. Okay, that's that about. Look at this contrast between the use of racism as a theme in Othello and native song. Native song. Okay? Contrast between the use of racism in Othello as a theme and in native song. Have you written that? Now, using the initial explanation I gave to you, first you need to talk about what racism is. You have to define it. You can define that racism is being unfair to another person as a result of the color of their skin or their race. Okay? Now, you now relate it to the story. In Othello, especially in the city of Venice, are you listening to me? Blacks were not accepted. In fact, they were social wrong. For you to be black and to be in Venice, you have entered the wrong place. Are you getting the gist? But of course, Othello happens to be a man mighty in war, a man of valor, a man whom his presence alone, his persona in a room, there is no way you can ignore him. His presence is always noticed. Of course, his name has actually superseded his face. He's known all over to be a very strong warrior, and that was why Venice sent for him to come and help them in battle. Alright, despite the fact that Othello had graduated from the case of a common black man to that of a dignified citizen, because after having fought battles for Venice, he's now being loved by Venetians. They love him. Everywhere ladies are singing his name, Othello, Othello. It's not like they don't sing my name too, they sing my name. FM, FM. Anytime Othello comes out, come and say, ladies dying, digging. Check it, when I step out, enter Balenciaga. I don't wear it, I use my chest. Honestly speaking. Oh, is it because there's no chest right now? I used to off my chest at home when I'm going to class, so that people will not just be fainting anyhow. You understand? I'm not that proud. Okay? But Othello here is loved. Despite that fact, there is still this cursor that we need to put on top of the fact that he's black. Black man. And so, all the rich men in Venice, if I take you to them now, let's assume that I call Sound City, I call Channels, and I take them to the hotel. I say, so, Othello, what can you tell us, all the women in Venice, have you found the one you want to marry? Othello will tell you, yes, but I can't marry them. They ask him why. He say, because no daughter in Venice will marry a black man. That's the racial discrimination. That's racism. The fathers of daughters in Venice believe that their daughters must marry merchants, traders, and those traders must be white. Othello is a soldier. It does not qualify on that ground. Number two, he's a black man. You will remember when Iago told Rodrigo that the best way to stop the marriage between Othello and Desdemona is for them to run to the house of Desdemona's father, Brabancio. Rodrigo does not understand. Iago is saying that, see, Rodrigo, if you really want this girl, Desdemona, and you love her, I'm sure that Brabancio does not know about that wedding. Because Brabancio cannot allow a black man marry his daughter. Can you see that? So it means that he's not marrying, not because Othello is not rich, not because he's not famous, but because he's black. But Iago is giving us first-hand information that Brabancio does not know about that wedding. And of course, it happens to be true. The man does not know about the wedding. Okay? So, it is clear to us that the black man in Venice, as at the time Othello existed, the black man cannot marry based on the reason of what? Race. Iago also was racist in nature. When he got to the house of Brabancio, he said, "My lord, a black eagle is toppling your white ewe. A ewe is a baby lamb, a female one, right? So look at the imagery, look at the contrast. He described Othello as a black goat and described Desdemona as a white ewe, a white female lamb. Are you getting it? So the goat chasing the white, you know, that imagery looks very funny. It looks ridiculous. He ridiculed the personality of what's his name, Othello. Are you getting it? It was when Othello, one of our guys, used to gist us everything. That time I and Othello were very close friends. So we have one guy that used to gist us. You know, the guy at my party, his name is Wale. So anytime you call him, like, FM, you hear what Iago talk. He said, what did he say? He said, Iago called Othello a goat. And then Othello got angry. What's the meaning of that? And then Iago said, bro, when I say goat, I mean greatest of all time. It was whining us. But we knew deep down that that black eagle is racist statement. Do you understand the details of that? So, in essence, or where this is all leading to, is that in Othello, the wickedness on the heart of people in Venice extends to the point of racism, whereby a black man cannot marry a white lady, and a black lady cannot marry what? A white man. That is as much as it was used. By extension, you remember that bigger. Oh, sorry. So that's as much as it was used in Othello. Now, we now want to contrast it with native son. We will see that throughout the story of native son, the central focus was racial discrimination. Blacks and whites could not stay together. They could not attend the same schools. They don't have the same hospitals. They have to stay apart. In fact, the whites have far better life compared to that of the blacks. And of course, the blacks will have to just be looking at the whites from a distance and be wishing. So, the black life never mattered in the times of Native Son, written by who? By Richard Wright. To the extent that you will see everything in the community keeps reminding bigger of the supremacy or the superiority of who? Of the white. You imagine the time he came out of that house and a car passed by. The car raised dust of all the dirty things flying around in the air. Bigger Thomas could not fix his eye on anything. The only thing he saw was a white paper that was dangling. Okay? And in his mind, he's scared that, oh, this is white. He's not even thinking that it's paper. He's thinking that, this is white in my presence. He was thinking of how to run away. Why? Because everything around him keep telling him about the white man and what the white man will do to him. Anytime he's outside and he sees snow covering a house, the windows of the house look like the eyes of a human being, and the snow on the body of the house looks like the head of that person. So it looks like a white person that is like a ghost scaring you. So for the black man always lived in fear in the story of Native Son. Do you understand the gist there? So even up to the point where Bigger Thomas killed Mary Doughty. Okay? We all know that this killing is not deliberate. It was accidental. Okay? But at the time when Bigam killed or kills Mary, it is already part of the law in America. Okay? That no black man must be found in a compromising situation with a white lady. And this is so because there was a time when blacks started raping white ladies. They felt that whites were like gods, they were semi-gods or demigods. And someone passed a superstition around that if a black man should sleep or have sexual intercourse or relations with a white lady, that the black skin is cursed, that the black race is cursed. So if the cure or the antidote to it is to have sexual relations with a white lady, that they have spiritual healing. And so if you have such relations with them, all the curses of your life will be over. And so black men started looking for ways to get white ladies. And the white community needed to do something to protect the white ladies. And so it was promulgated that if a black man is seen in any environment close to a white lady, it is tantamount to, there is no even need to try the person in the court of law. Directly, death sentence. So it's not a question of you were coming this way and there's a bend. And so by the time you turn into this side, the lady entered into you and someone saw you. No. Once you are found in that compromising situation, it was death sentence. And here is bigger. In the bedroom of Mary Doughty, he has even killed her mistakenly. Because he doesn't want the girl out of her sleep to mention his name and he'll be discovered in the room. So he decided to block her mouth. You remember the story? Mistakenly, he kills Mary. That will not be the first death, the only death carried out by Bigger Thomas. We later found out that Bigger Thomas still killed his own girlfriend, Bessie. This one is a black girl. But this is where racism comes in. In the court of law, a case was tried and the other was thrown out. Because Mary Doughty is a white lady and the daughter of a prominent white man, it was only her case they tried. Bessie, the girlfriend of Bigger Thomas, the case was never aired. So that's to tell you that the lives of the blacks never mattered. So it was so serious a thing that Richard Wright had to infuse it from the beginning to the end. Do you get that? And in the end of it, what did we see? We saw that the racism, is a form of ostracizing people. And it was deeply dealt with in both, Othello, and of course, in Native Son. So, the footnote you are now going to be giving out to people is this. In Othello, we see that when you create strife between races, disaster comes at the end. Of course, we saw that, what's her name? Desdemona died. What's his name? Othello also died. Because a white man hated or wanted to get something from him. Are you getting it? So he misled him, thinking that the woman who loves him the most had betrayed him. So he kills her. In Native Son also, you find out that paranoia, when someone is paranoid, to be paranoid means what has not yet happened, you believe it will happen. They will catch me. Before they catch me, I have to destroy things so that they won't catch me. I have to run away. That's what pushed Bigger Thomas into committing murder. And in the end, you see, the end was disastrous. So, in all, the author is trying to pass across to us, or the authors are trying to pass across to us, that it is important that the world does away with racism and we live together as one, imbibe the culture of peaceful coexistence, and of course see ourselves first as humans before we see ourselves as white or blacks. Okay? Having said that, we've come to the end of this. Let's move to the next one.